Welcome to this week's episode of Lachie's Weekly Footy Roundup, and this is a bit of a retro one here. We are going back to the first round of season 2016. First game, we got Richmond versus Carlton at the MCG. Oh dear, how embarrassing was Carlton last season? They were the worst team in the competition. Bottom of the ladder. And that team got rid of Mick Malthouse as their coach last season. And surely Brendan Bolton can be able to do a good job coaching this side. Anyways, to start this off, we got Richmond and Carlton at the MCG to kickstart the season. For this one, this game was originally going to be billed as Chris Yarran versus his old team. But because of his pre-season antics, I don't think Chris Yarran will be playing in this game for the Tigers. Speaking of the Tigers, I've got them beating Carlton by 102 points. Best on ground for Richmond, I reckon, will be Brandon Ellis, Dustin Martin, Trent Cotchin, and I'll probably go Jack Rewalt. Let's look at Carlton. My best players for the Baggers, I'll be going with, I reckon, Andrew Walker. Surely he can get back to his 2011 best. Paddy Cripps, and probably Mark Murphy. Melbourne versus GWS at the MCG in round one, Saturday afternoon. My pick for best on ground for Melbourne, I'll be going with Bernie Vince. Hang on, before that, we got the margin to predict. I reckon Melbourne in a classic. I reckon Melbourne by a point. Best on ground for the Demons, I'll be going with Max Gawn. I reckon he'll actually become a breakout star. Nathan Jones, Bernie Vince, and Jack Viney. GWS. I reckon my best on grounds in this game, I'm going with a Lachie Whitfield, Toby Green, Shane Mumford. I reckon it'll be a big ruck duel between Mumford and Gawn. And I'll probably go Josh Kelly for my best on ground for the Giants. And there's a shock Stephen Canidio's not playing. He's an emergency this week. So is Will Hoskin-Elliott and Zach Williams. Now we've got Gold Coast versus Essendon at Metricon Stadium. Well, there has been a burning question for the Bunners this season. Are they going to win? Will they win a game in 2016? Considering after all that drama they went through pre-season. They had the 34F suspended for the supplement saga they did a few years prior in 2012. I reckon the Gold Coast Suns will get up in the first game by about 90 points. Best on ground for the Suns, I'm going with Gary Ablett. I reckon he'll be back to his best. Aaron Hall, Dion Prestia, and I'll probably go Took Miller. I don't know who am I going to pick for Essendon. Look at the new names they've picked. Matt D, Mitch Brown, James Kelly, Craig Bird, Jonathan Simpkin, Darcy Parish on debut, Ryan Crowley, Matthew Stokes, and Matthew Leuenberger. For my best on ground for the Bunners, I'll be going with Brendan Goddard, Joe Danaher, Zach Merritt, and Come on, Adam Cooney. You got to get back to your best. You haven't been that good since 2008. When you won the Brownlow medal. You're a Brownlow medalist, mate. Anyways, we got Sydney and Collingwood at the SCG to kickstart the season. I reckon the Swans will get up. I reckon the Swans will get up in a close one by 35 points. My pick for best on ground this week for the Swans, I'll be going with Buddy Franklin, Josh Kennedy, Tom Mitchell, and Luke Parker. Well, hopefully this will be Tom Mitchell's breakout season for the Swans. As for Collingwood, my BOGs, I'm going with Adam Treloar, Steele Sidebottom, Scott Pendlebury. Considering how good he looked at this pre-season at half forward, I'll go with Dane Swan. When he won a Brownlow medal a few years ago. Now for the fifth game of the round, we got North Melbourne and Adelaide at Etihad Stadium. Well, this is not known as Marvel Stadium just yet. I reckon for this game, I'm hoping my Crows will win, but I've got a feeling the Kangaroos will get up. I reckon North Melbourne by 1 point in a close one at Etihad. Best on ground for the Kangaroos, I'm going with Daniel Wells, Nick Del Santo, Boomer Harvey, and Sean Higgins. And I reckon Todd Goldstein in the ruck. He's one of the best ruckmen in the competition. Adelaide. My pick for BOG, I'm going with Rory Sloane, Tex Walker, Eddie Betts, and I reckon he'll get back to his best, Scott Thompson. I reckon he'll kind of get back to his 2012 best. Bulldogs versus Fremantle at Etihad Stadium. Well, the Dockers, they've had an excellent pre-season. They've had all their games in Western Australia. They just beat the Crows over in Mount Barker by a kick. They managed to beat. They got a win over Geelong at Subiaco. I was going to say Dockers Stadium.
Oh my god!
Well, since this game's at Etihad, I'm actually going to call an upset here. I'm going the Western Bulldogs by 2 points. Best on grounds for the Dogs, I'm going with Jake Stringer.
Lachie, do me a favour before you read the next one. Say, can you put barbecue trays in the oven?
Will do.
Aluminium barbecue trays, so I'll use them so the thing. Quick, mate.
Can you put aluminium trays in the oven?
Oh, you're doing a video? Oh, sorry, lot.
All good.
Sorry, you have to edit that bit out. Sorry, guys.
Sorry about that, I'll edit that bit out.
Quick.
Anyways, best on ground for the Dogs, I'm going with Jake Stringer, Marcus Bontempelli, and I reckon Jack McRae. And I've got to go Lebber. Fremantle, my pick for BOG. Nat Fife, the reigning Brownlow medalist. Matthew Pavlich. Well, hopefully this will be, as he is in his 17th season. And I've got to go, I reckon Michael Walters. And another one of my picks, I might go with Michael Barlow. Port Adelaide versus St Kilda at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide are celebrating 20. Port Adelaide are celebrating 20 years since their AFL entrance.
Good idea, right?
And they're going to be wearing their original away jersey from 1997 to 2002. Up against the same opponent at the night of the finals berth in 1997, St Kilda. For this game, I reckon the Power will get their revenge and get the job done by 57 points. Best on the ground for the Power, I reckon Ollie Wines, Travis Boak, Robbie Gray, and I've got to go with Charlie Dixon on debut for his new club. St Kilda, my pick for BOG, Nick Rewalt, Lee Montagna, and I'll go with Jack Stephen. West Coast versus Brisbane at Domain Stadium, formerly known as Subiaco Oval. As we all know, Perth Stadium's not built yet. It'll be coming soon. My pick for this game, I'm going with... I reckon the Eagles will get up, surely. They just lost the grand final last year. I reckon West Coast by 100 points against the Lions. Best on ground for West Coast. I reckon a 10-bagger for Kennedy, Mark LaCroix, Andrew Gaff, Luke Shuey, and I reckon Matt Bredis. Back to his Brownlow best. Brizzy. My pick for best on ground, I'm going to go with Mitch Robinson, Tom Rockcliffe. I don't think Dave Banks has been picked in the squad. Surely back to his best with Daniel Rich. The Easter Monday Classic. Geelong and Hawthorn at the MCG. There's going to be another huge crowd here for this game on Easter Monday.
What's up, brother?
I reckon...
In the glass. Okay.
Sorry, Geelong, I've got to go Hawthorn win on Easter Monday. They just won 3 in a row, for crying out loud. They're going to be going for a 4th one this year. I reckon Hawthorn by a point. Best on ground for Hawthorn, I'm going with Luke Bruce, Sam Mitchell, Sean Burgoyne, and I reckon Jordan Lewis. Come on, I've got to go Cyril Rioli as well. For Geelong, my pick for BOG, I reckon Dangerfield on debut for his new club. Joel Selwood, Jimmy, I reckon Tom Hawkins for the goals. And that will just about wrap up this week's episode for round 1, and we'll see you for round 2, the Showdown edition. And that will be the first showdown without Dangerfield.